But there are some very key and critical exchanges and quotes from Crenshaw in particular. For example, there was one point where our guys were sort of heckling him. They were loudly complaining about the fact that plants were being put in the front of the line and our guys were being ignored. They were being shined on. The microphone people were telling one of my friends, yeah, we're going to take your question next. And then when the current guy left, they'd pull up another guy from the plant line. And it's just like completely obnoxious, completely transparent. But there were a couple of exchanges in particular that were very telling. As I said, at the one point, everybody's yelling. There's this commotion. Crenshaw says to the Groypers, he says, okay, so let me get this straight. Are you guys Trump supporters? Our crowd yells, yes. Crenshaw says, so you support the most pro-Israel president ever. Our crowd says, yes. We're unironically, we support Trump, and yes, we support him. Crenshaw says, will you disavow Trump's Israel policy? The whole crowd chants, yes. So 3 yeses in a row. Do you support Trump? Yes. So you're saying you support the most pro-Israel president? Yes. But you will disavow Trump's Israel policy? Everyone chants, yes. Crenshaw says, are you pro-Trump or not? We say yes. And to me, that exchange perfectly illustrated exactly what they're trying to do, exactly this smear. That's what Ben Shapiro tried to do last night. They're trying to say, oh, you're not real Trump supporters. You're wearing the MAGA hat to get media attention. You're wearing the MAGA hat to put us in the same category as you guys, and you're trying to help the left, right? But this exchange spells out very clearly what the real divide is about. Dan Crenshaw believes that you cannot be in the movement if you don't love Israel. If you don't worship Israel, if you're not on your knees for Israel, if you don't want to put them first, you cannot support President Trump. You cannot be a sincere Trump supporter. You cannot be a real conservative. You cannot ask questions. You cannot have a Twitter account. You cannot do a YouTube show. That's what they believe. That's what this exchange shows, because Crenshaw asks explicitly, you support Trump? Yes. Well, Trump is Israel. Do you still support him? Yes. Well, do you disavow this part of his platform? Yes, we do. Well, how can you support Trump? Well, clearly, Dan Crenshaw is exposing in that little exchange that he believes that Trump and Israel are one and the same. Or actually, maybe Israel is more important than Trump. Because what he's getting at is you may support Trump, the person, or other parts of Trump, but unless you support this relationship, unless you support specifically this one part of his platform, you're a faker, you're a phony, you're a hater. So to me, that was an incredible exchange. There was another point during the speech where Dan Crenshaw outright threatened. He outright threatened somebody in the audience. And I'm going to pull up the quote here. He said to one of the Groypers, quote, you are going to regret asking these questions. You are going to regret being on video. Pro-free speech Congressman Dan Crenshaw said to people in MAGA hats, holding crosses, wearing rosaries, that are out there to ask questions about foreign policy and immigration, he told them, you are going to regret asking these questions. You are going to regret being on video. Well, what does that mean, Dan Crenshaw? What does that mean, Congressman? Is Congressman Dan Crenshaw implying that if his constituents, if American citizens, supporters of the president of his party, if they ask why we're giving foreign aid to Israel, what is he implying there? That they're going to use those videos to dox them? To do what, Congressman? To get them fired from their jobs? To kill them? To harass them? What are you getting at? Can we get a little clarification on that? And again, this just goes to show exactly who we're dealing with here. Dan Crenshaw, Congressman, war hero Dan Crenshaw, who comes back from the war, and he's posting on Facebook. By the way, he's posting on Facebook that he's pro-homosexual, pro-abortion, and he's anti-Trump. That was during the election in 2016. So Congressman Dan Crenshaw gets back from the war. He goes on Facebook and says, I hate Donald Trump. I love homosexuals. And now that he's been given Israel money by the ZOA and AIPAC and all the rest to become the new face of the Republican Party, John McCain 2.0, now he's going to tell people in Trump hats asking about foreign aid that they're going to be recorded, they're going to regret this, subtly threatening that anybody who asks about this is going to be intimidated into silence. This is who we're talking about here. This is the filth, the scum. These are the lowest scum-sucking people in the country. Congressman, fuck you. It means nothing. He got elected. He's a congressman. He's a war hero. Fuck you. This guy swore an oath to protect the First Amendment. Do you think the founders would draw a distinction and say, oh, the First Amendment it's only about government censorship, but we're totally fine with corporations shutting people down. We're totally fine with if you say something racist, you get your life destroyed. Do you think that's what the founding fathers had in mind? Was that what you had in mind when you swore that oath? Do you think that's what most Americans have in mind about what free speech means? That a sitting congressman, he swore an oath. As a Republican, he got elected because of Donald Trump in Texas, where they're Christians and conservatives. And he's telling students who support the president, who hate mass immigration, who love Jesus Christ, you're going to regret asking that question. You're going to regret being on video. Fuck you. I don't care about your eye patch. I don't care about your fancy title. You're a scum-sucking Israel first whore. That's exactly what you are. And everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. This is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen, and I don't know how anybody could disagree with that. They say that we're alt-right. They say we're the Westboro Baptist Church. No, we're followers of Jesus Christ. We're supporters of America. We love our country. We love our people. And this is the kind of shit that's going on. And people want to cover that up because of his eye patch. You know, really? Give me a break. A little bit of a heated gamer moment, but nothing makes me angrier than this. Mask off. The mask is completely gone. And that was exactly what we were trying to do from the beginning, was to take the mask off of what's really going on. How can anybody look at this and defend this? Sitting Republican congressman telling students, you're going to regret asking that question. I think that what Dan Crenshaw said, that quote, he can never live that down. I want that clip. I want that to be posted under every tweet he ever posts for the rest of his life. Every public event that he goes to, I want somebody to heckle him and yell that out. You're going to regret asking that question, because that's the culture that's in the country today, and Republicans are complicit and supporting it. You're going to regret asking that question. That's been my whole life. Was people like this telling me, you're going to regret asking that question, or else what? Bafangul, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Shut down our bank accounts? Fire us from our jobs? We're still here. We're still here. We're not going anywhere. Put a bullet in our head for asking the questions. That's the only way you're going to stop this. So I saw that. That was the most telling event of the past 3 weeks, in my opinion. You're going to regret asking that question. You're going to regret saying that, Congressman. But sincerely, earnestly, can anybody find anything more repulsive and hypocritical than that? Can anybody find anything lower than these people? And that's what's so disgusting, is that the expectation is that we're supposed to get on our hands and knees and say, thank you, Congressman. Thank you, sir, for your service. When they say stuff like this, that reveals the whole charade that's going on. The whole charade with this system. You know, we're led to believe that this is a legitimate system because of the titles in front of their names. We owe Dan Crenshaw respect because what? Because he took some money and he was on a ballot and people selected red? Give me a break. This is the character. This is the kind of person we're talking about. You'll regret asking that question. And they call us un-American, right? They call us un-American with an attitude of, you'll regret being on video. I dare you. Do what you must, Dan Crenshaw. Do what you must. I'm on video right here. You want to attack my friends? You want to attack college kids? You know, I'm a college-age kid. I dropped out of college, but, you want to attack innocent people asking questions. Attack me. I'm on the camera every night saying everything they're saying and more. Bring it on. Whatever you got.
See, their morals, their code, it's a bad joke. Dropped at the first sign of trouble. They're only as good as the world allows them to be. I'll show you. When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other.
Bafangul.